This is Simple Cooking Made Simple with a Carolina Chef. Today we made this beautiful plate of corned beef and cabbage with some potatoes and carrots. We slow cooked this for about 7 to 8 hours. It's so good, tasty. It's gonna make your house smell so great and your tummies are gonna love you. Corned beef and cabbage, you think originated maybe in Irish, but actually or in Ireland, but once the Irish started coming to America, they settled in New York, and they used to use, before corned beef and cabbage, it was pork and cabbage. But once they got settled in New York, most of them would stay around your Jewish butchers. And then they noticed that the corned beef was kind of similar to their pork and cabbage. So that's how corned beef and cabbage kind of originated in the 19th century. Also, a lot of people they wonder, what's the difference between pastrami and corned beef? Well, the difference is corned beef is boiled or slow cooked in water, but pastrami is smoked and seasoned. It's the same meat, but just different flavors. That's the wonderful thing about cooking, is you can cook one thing one way and another thing, or the same thing, you can cook it a bunch of different ways and get different results. That's why it's so much fun to play in the kitchen. So keep watching this video to find the full recipe of our corned beef and cabbage, and I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you. So we have a 3.5 pound beef brisket that we've seasoned with pepper, garlic, onion powder, and seasoning salt overnight. And I have 4 cups of spring water, 4 beef bouillon cubes with a stick of butter. And then we're going to take 1 onion, slice that up. And this can be rough chop, fine chop, however you want to chop it, slice it, dice it. So we're going to slice this up and then dice it. We're going to add it into our spring water, butter, and bouillon cubes. And then once we do that, we'll add 1 pound of baby carrots. We're using baby carrots, so I feel like they're a little bit sweeter than your regular size carrot. We'll empty that in here. And then we're going to take about 1 pound of baby reds and throw in here. Our beef brisket that's already seasoned. In here in the water, just kind of mash it down. And then I have 12 ounces of beer with pickled spices. That's going to go on top of this. And then we're going to let this cook on high for around 6 to 7 hours. So the beef brisket that we used is a 3.5 pound. It was pre-packaged with a pickled seasoning pack. So we used that seasoning pack, but we also added some more flavor, adding the beer. That's just going to help break the beef down and make it more tender, give a little bit more flavor. Then we also added our garlic powder, our onion powder, our pepper, and our seasoning salt. So we're just looking for this to have a lot of flavor and be really tender. So this will slow cook for about 7 hours, and then we'll start chopping up some cabbage and add that to it kind of towards the end. You want to do that towards the end so that your cabbage doesn't turn out mushy and just not real good. It's not going to make a really nice presentation. So it's been 6 hours. And now we are going to add our cabbage to the corned beef. So I'm going to cut that in half, and then I'm going to take out the core. And we're just going to take this in little slices and then kind of break it up and put it on top. And then after that, we'll take a spoon and stir it in. You don't want to cook it or cut it too small, because then it'll dissolve and there won't be much of it left. So now we're going to chop some green onion and put in here. I'm just going to cut the ends off. Because sometimes they don't look the best. So we cut those off, and then we're going to cut about midway down the stem. And don't throw these away. So what I do is I stick these in spring water. I don't use your faucet water because of the chlorine. So I'm going to stick these in water. And you can see that I've already been cutting some of these. And the last time when I cut these was probably about a week ago. So they're already growing quite a bit. So you just want to put these in some water. You can put them in a planter like that, and then they'll start growing out, and it kind of looks kind of nice. Use it as a decoration. But then you also have green onion all the time. So we're going to chop these up. And I'm not doing these too fine, just kind of like about 1/3 of an inch. And then we're going to place these in with our cabbage and our fresh cut parsley. We'll dump that in there. And then we're just going to stir this around. Make sure it gets in the liquid. And this is just going to add more flavor to our corned beef, cabbage, carrots, and potatoes. So we're going to let this cook on low for about another hour, and then we'll be able to plate up and it'll be time to eat. So it's been another hour and our corned beef and cabbage and potatoes are ready. So let's take this out and see what it looks like. Oh, it smells so good. So we're going to put some of that on there. And then we're just going to put some cabbage around this. And the cabbage is not overcooked. Then we got some carrots and potatoes. And this is a great meal. You get your vegetables, your beef, your potatoes, all in one meal. You're not slaving over the stove. I mean, it just turns out so good. It has a lot of flavor. It's just so nice. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I want to say a special thanks to all that have watched it and all that have subscribed. If you haven't yet, please do so. And make sure that you do the 3 S's. Smash that like button, subscribe, and share with your family and friends. Thank you so much for joining us today, and God bless you all.